on YouTube, so be ready. This is not a fun trip, because if it was a fun trip, I would be eating everything under the sun out here.
So we're excited about that. Hey, y'all see me though, head to toe Jackson. Jackson out. We got bucket hats coming very soon. Don't even worry. On Fortnite, we're a good $1,700 in the hole. On fucking Fortnite. And
people see the muscles and the trophies, but they don't see the nights. I questioned everything about who I was becoming. These powerful words from Erin Banks shattered the illusion of the unshakable champion the fitness world has come to admire. Behind the historic victories and the physique that redefined the men's physique division lies a journey marked by financial devastation, an identity crisis, and a secret battle with personal demons that nearly ended his career before it truly began. From a struggling young man working dead-end jobs to an Olympia champion who almost walked away from the sport entirely, Erin's path was anything but the linear success story his highlight reel suggests. The truth is more shocking than you ever imagined. Are you enjoying this story about Erin Banks? Then help the channel with your subscription. Look, 94.8% of people who watch these videos still aren't subscribed to the channel. If you're part of that group, take the opportunity and subscribe now. It's free, and you'll keep receiving incredible stories of legendary bodybuilders who shaped the sport. Oh, and don't forget, at the end of the video, you'll find more stories just like this one. Erin Banks emerged from the shadows of small-town America, where bodybuilding dreams seemed as distant as Hollywood fantasies. Before the Olympia stage lights illuminated his perfectly sculpted frame, Erin was a young man working exhausting hours at thankless jobs just to survive. The gym wasn't initially about competition or glory, it was his only escape from the crushing weight of a life without prospects and the limiting expectations of his environment. He trained at 4 a.m. in a rundown facility where equipment broke regularly and the heating barely functioned during brutal winters. His first coach, a retired local bodybuilder who recognized his genetic potential, trained him for free because he couldn't afford the rates. What most fans don't know is that Erin competed in his first show wearing borrowed trunks that didn't fit properly because he couldn't afford the custom competition where his rivals displayed. Judges later admitted they almost overlooked him entirely because his presentation seemed amateur. The man who would eventually dominate the men's physique division started his journey being dismissed before he even flexed a muscle. This pattern of being underestimated became the fuel that would eventually ignite an unstoppable fire. The shadow of financial impossibility created constant pressure that threatened to crush Erin's ambitions before they materialized. While competitors with sponsorships and wealthy families invested tens of thousands in coaches, nutritionists, and premium supplements, Erin stretched every dollar beyond its breaking point. He meal prepped from discount grocery stores, often skipping meals himself to save money during competition prep. The disparity was stark and demoralizing, watching men with unlimited resources dominate regional shows while he calculated whether he could afford gas money to drive to competitions. One particularly devastating moment came when he won a qualifying show but couldn't afford the travel expenses to compete at nationals. He watched from home, via a grainy live stream, as athletes he had beaten advanced to stages he couldn't reach. This financial warfare taught him to maximize every limited advantage, developing training techniques and nutritional strategies born from necessity rather than luxury. The constraints that should have broken him instead forged an efficiency and mental toughness his privileged competitors could unmatch. The pressure cooker of competition prep created internal fractures that Erin has only recently begun discussing publicly. During his most aggressive contest preparations, he developed an obsessive relationship with food and training that spiraled into dangerous behaviors. He would lie awake at night, terrified that a single slip would destroy months of sacrifice. His family and friends noticed him becoming increasingly irritable, distant, and obsessed with scales, mirrors, and macros. The man who entered bodybuilding seeking an escape found himself imprisoned by the very discipline he'd cultivated. Relationships suffered as partners couldn't understand his rigid lifestyle demands. Fronts disappeared as social gatherings became anxiety-inducing obstacles filled with dietary temptations. Erin later revealed that he isolated himself completely during certain prep phases, convinced that human connection was a luxury competitors couldn't afford. The most painful secret was hiding his struggles from those he loved, performing confidence while internally battling demons that whispered he would never be enough, not shredded enough, not symmetrical enough, not dedicated enough. This psychological warfare, invisible to social media followers who saw only victory posts, nearly convinced him to abandon everything he'd built. The breaking point arrived unexpectedly at a competition where Erin, despite being in his best shape ever, placed disappointingly low due to politics and favoritism he couldn't control. Backstage, surrounded by the typical chaos of competition, he experienced a complete emotional collapse. I gave everything, my money, my relationships, my mental health, and it still wasn't enough. He recalled thinking. That night, he wrote a retirement announcement he never posted. He drove home in silence, contemplating whether the sacrifices were destroying more than they were building. It was a phone call from a close friend, someone who believed in him when nobody else did, that pierced through his despair. He realized he'd been measuring success through judges' scorecards, rather than the impact he was making on people who looked up to him. The breakdown became a breakthrough. He sought professional help, rebalanced his relationship with the sport, and returned to competition with transformed priorities that would eventually carry him to the top of the Olympia stage. Life after that pivotal breakdown transformed Erin from a desperate competitor to a mindful champion. His subsequent victories, including his historic men's physique, Olympia conquest, came from a place of psychological wholeness rather than destructive obsession. He now openly discusses mental health in bodybuilding, breaking the silence that enables suffering throughout the sport. His philosophy as an athlete and influencer prioritizes sustainable practices over extreme measures. The financial struggles that once limited him now fuel his desire to inspire others. He frequently shares his real story to show that humble beginnings don't define destinies. Erin emphasizes that his greatest achievement isn't any trophy, but proving that champions can emerge from circumstances designed to produce failure. His impact extends beyond physique sports into broader conversations about masculinity, vulnerability, mental health, and redefining success on personal terms rather than external validation. Are you enjoying this story about Erin Banks? Then help the channel with your subscription. Look, 94.8% of people who watch these videos still aren't subscribed to the channel. If you're part of that group, take the opportunity and subscribe now. It's free, and you'll keep receiving incredible stories of legendary bodybuilders who shaped the sport. Oh, and don't forget, at the end of the video, you'll find more stories just like this one. From tear-filled nights questioning his worth to standing atop the Olympia stage as champion. Erin Banks' journey reveals that true strength is unmeasured in muscle striations, but in the courage to continue when everything suggests surrender. His story reminds us that behind every perfect physique exists a human being whose greatest victories were won in battles the audience never witnessed. Thanks for watching.